estate will treat you well. You're in the know, the market's moving fast. Let's go, 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 go. Care about real estate? Like and subscribe, don't hesitate. Care about real estate? Like and subscribe, don't hesitate. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Welcome you guys to our first episode of Care About Real Estate. I'm your girl Kenya Posey, hashtag the agent that cares. I have a co-host today with me, Ron Olson. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
We actually are now sitting in Hattie Marie's where we actually met a couple weeks ago. This is actually going to be one of our host events that we have coming up this Sunday with Keller Williams Family Reunion hosted here in Las Vegas. I'm going to be hosting an event. This year it's going to be a little smaller than last year. Last year we had about 170 some agents, but this year I'm probably going to be about 50 agents here. Again, I had to pivot at the last minute to actually find a spot, and I found my place right at home here at Hattie Marie's. Owner is Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall was NFL Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos. He was a former NFL player, so I am glad to be here in his property. I felt at home since I've been in here the first time, like a month or so ago, and we're gonna make this work. It is here. It's time. So let's just get into talking about what's going on in the market right now. I did jot down some numbers because on Wednesdays is my Wednesday day for my numbers at my office. We usually go over the numbers every week on Wednesdays, and so one of the things I wanted to point out is what's going on now number-wise in the market. Right now, for the month of January, closed sales for January was 2,167 sales. Mm-hmm. That's wide for the MLS, for the LVR. Mm-hmm. That's the whole entire MLS system. Now for the week, looking at the weekly at numbers, it's going to be, we had active right now 5,007 single-family homes on the market. That's single-family homes active. And then also under contract, went under contract for this past week is 811 homes. And that's actually up from last week, because last week was 777. Days on the market still ranging this town 42 to 50, which has been about average for weeks now. 42 to 50 days on the market. Medium home price though, $485,000.
Sure.
And that's a big difference from between real estate back in 2019, 2020. You know, we actually seeing the home prices, rising. That's, it's been rising quite often.
And do you anticipate that home prices will go down in the future or near future?
I don't see it, Ron. I don't see it. Right now, one thing that's been very consistent is the home prices, and they have not gone down. Now, interest rates, on the other hand, we can see the fluctuation of interest rates up and down, but home price has been one consistent thing of actually going up.
Sure, yeah. As much as it would be nice, and we understand the benefit that would be to people if prices go down, it might create a little bit more affordability for certain buyers, but unfortunately it just comes down to supply and demand, right?
Yes.
And we're seeing less supply than there is demand, and that's just causing prices to steadily increase on a regular basis.
Yep, definitely. Like I said, even January, the total houses on the market right now, total statewide for the MLS for our Galvar for Las Vegas, 8,800 homes on the market. New listings as of today for new listings is 4,673, and that's up from December. December was 2,792.
And maybe like November, December, those are probably amongst the lower months of the year, right? As far as homes listed and people out shopping and all that.
Yep, it's definitely much slower months. So some people have great Decembers, but again, those months for average, most agents, is a little slower because you have people traveling, vacationing. And I tell people a lot of times, my buyers, now is the time to buy during November, December, those months, because
I agree.
You have less people to, compete against. So
yeah, we bought our home in November, and it's just it's the main benefit obviously is the competition.
Yep, definitely. And right now, I think our home supply is like three months right now, basically like 3.2 months on the market as far as home supplies out here in Vegas. So I do have some buyers out now looking, and the most important thing is I tell buyers right now, let's look now and see what we can get and negotiate it on your behalf, because again, if rates were to drop just a tad bit, it's going to be scarcity of people out trying to, buy homes, and we're going to find ourselves in another situation where you're going to be competing, people purchasing homes over the appraisal price points. So now is always a good time for buyers, especially when it comes from if you're ready. I don't want anybody that's not ready. I want you to be ready and understand your numbers.
Yeah.
So
And I'd say spring is right before spring. This time right now is even the most crucial time. So real estate professionals, of course, we always say buy now, right? But I feel like once you hit spring, people start looking at school getting out. That's probably a huge factor, and like, oh, it's time to start looking towards buying the new house. So I feel like right now is when you could probably squeeze in there before that spring rush.
definitely, definitely, definitely. And what I would share with my first time home buyers as well too, the main thing is understanding the numbers. So that's what I want to discuss now with you. What is your process? That's one of my things. When I'm working for a lender, my most important thing is making sure that clients being educated, understanding their numbers. I don't want to work with any buyer going out on a contract and they don't know what we're going to be bringing it when it comes to closing table. I discuss the upfront funds, which is going to be your earnest money, your inspection, and your appraisal, and those are the three upfront funds they must have. But there's going to be funding when we get in. It's not just going to be your down payment. It's going to be closing cost expenses. And I make sure that my clients understand and get with the lender. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm the real estate agent. Sure. I stay in my lane. The numbers are the specialty with the lender. So talk to me about the numbers. What do you do for your clients?
So you hear a lot. You hear the term pre-approval, which means the lender's reviewed your scenario and confirm you qualify for the loan. But it blows my mind that many lenders leave it at that. They give you a pre-approval letter confirming the amount that you qualify and then send them out to you as the real estate agent to start shopping for homes. Maybe they gave them some estimates on their payment. But if you get pre-approved from a lender and they are not going out of their way to give you details on which loan programs you're going to be using, how much your minimum down payment would be, how much your estimated closing cost would be, they can't determine exact numbers, but give a ballpark, what your payment consists of, what your interest rate would look like, all that stuff. Like if they're not going out of their way to present that to you in a very easy to understand fashion, you should be concerned. Because I always say it this way, like I don't understand how the lenders can live with themselves not giving that information, because here's what can happen. I'm a lender, I give a pre-approval letter, I confirm they qualify for the loan, which is very, very, very important. I send them out to you, but I didn't give them any other information. You go out and show them 25 homes. They get excited. You know, you go under contract, you find a home, negotiate, tough negotiations with the seller. They get very excited about the house. They say, Kenya, you have to win this house for me. You win the house for them. They go under contract. They give their landlord 30-day notice because they got to be out of their rental, and they think they're going to close their home in 30 days. Come to find out, they didn't even know what was going to be included in their payment, or the HOA was going to be how much. And now they're stressing, like once they're finding all these figures out at the last minute, or maybe the pre-approval was even wrong, and then after all of that, they don't get the home. Now they're stressed because like they've already give their notice and all that. So like, I feel like a broken record saying this, but like the pre-approval process is so crucial. And just because a lender gave you a pre-approval letter does not mean that you're pre-approved, or it does not mean that you fully understand all the figures of the loan. So like that just really has to be broken down, and it has to be correct. It's so important for all those reasons.
Exactly, and like I said, I express that. I mean, any lender I work with, they know I'm very important on when it comes to communication and my clients being educated and knowing their numbers. Because I don't want to go on a contract again, like you said, and have it to cancel a contract and you not understand what's going on, or a buyer gets buyer remorse once they see those numbers when they go out the house. So typically what I do when I'm going out for a house shop, the client really wants to look at, I say contact the lender, see let's run these numbers, especially when it comes to the HOA, because that plays a factor when it comes to the debt to income ratio. Sure. So it's very important that my clients understand the process and their numbers. Very, very important for me.
Sure, especially if you're buying in a home, especially if you're buying a home in a community with a lot of amenities. Like the pre-approval might have been for $400,000, but then you go out and show them like a condo with a gym, a really nice pool, all these services and all that, and come to find out the HOA fees are maybe $600 a month on that one. If it wasn't discussed ahead of time, then the buyer will be surprised with that later, and maybe they don't qualify based on those HOA fees, because even though you qualify for an amount of $400,000, whatever it is, ultimately what you're qualifying for is what the payment would be at that price. So yeah, I mean, and all it takes is the lender just breaking all this stuff down in the pre-approval process, and it puts out those fires before they ever start.